Hello, this is David speaking. Um, this is video log number 6 for the design thinking um, course with Dr. Draper. And today, sorry, I got my documents here with my drawings and stuff. Um, today is this is video log number 6, and this week we were talking about it's more of an emphasis on prototyping. We had another meeting. I had another meeting with my team last week, and we were finishing up. We were most of the way done with the workbook information. I really like the way that it's laid out. It's very interesting. I think I have a copy of the document in a Word document on my computer, but the I like the way that it's laid out because you could literally go through and we were kind of talking about it, and it was some I guess some people didn't quite grasp um certain aspects with it. And I've been watching videos about like Tom Kelly and IDEO and stuff like that, and design thinking. And one student asked um what the purpose of the workbook was, and um, everything like that. And I'm like, well, if you go through and read everything through it and it actually input the information into it, then you could actually work a. It would be pretty easy for you to actually work a group through the process for design thinking, and actually go from start to finish with a project. And I believe it was in the first one of the first videos we watched. Where it was where they were all sitting around, and it had like the linguist, and Tom Kelly was there, and there was like other people there. Oh yeah, and the guy that was an engineer was the team lead for that video. Uh, I believe in that video they said that they were there for 9 hours the first day working on the shopping cart. And so I basically explained to them that if you were to like have like a 8 hour like workshop about design thinking, you could probably go from start to finish with that workbook, and actually come up with a project, or come up with an actual product. And I saw this. It was either this week or last week. There was a video. It was about a minute long. It looked like it was for like kind of a wrap up. It was about 1 minute long video, um, prototyping about for a leadership project that it had government workers prototyping paper airplanes. So it's like it's just a matter of getting ideas together and designing them, and um, uh, trying to get basically using design thinking um, principles in order to actually come up with a product. So, but that gets into my notes from when a video that I was watching about prototyping, and uh, one of the videos that you linked wasn't working, so I ended up going on YouTube and finding a video on IDEO, prototyping by Dartmouth Engineering. That might be the same video that you linked, but I had to go on YouTube in order to watch it. But I'm not sure. But anyways, in that video, they were talking about how they broke up prototyping into different stages, and I thought it was very interesting that the speaker, the way that he was explaining it, it was that inspiration is a process, and it just like the evolution and validation stages of prototyping. And so I thought about that for a while, and also that research should be experimental. And so when we were designing our bags, um, we threw around a lot of ideas and we talked about it. We did do some mock-ups, but I went into the computer, and you'll probably see it on so Team C. It'll be a green bag. I went in to a website where you can make custom bags, and um, I designed a bag on a custom bag website, and but so that would be like the most conventional style thing, would be an off the shelf product. And so then I was thinking to my when I was watching the video, it was like, how would I design a bag if I were to be try to go outside the box? So I basically came up with um, where's the picture? Ah, yes, there we go. So this is basically what I came up with. Excuse my drawing. So it might be backwards, but it's basically the idea that I came up with is like the duffel, the bag wagon, I think I called it. It's basically just a skateboard or a wagon with a duffel bag on top, and but like with a bunch of pockets sewn on the sides, and it would be it's not to scale, of course. I would actually make the wheels oversized, so you could like pull them along or whatever, like a curb and other stuff. Like when you're going through the parking lot, you're going through from one appointment to the next or something like that. Then they don't get stuck on the rocks and little cracks and stuff like that, and easy to pull for someone who's like physically disabled. And but but that's basically one drawing I had, and the idea just kind of came about like basically something that's something similar to a skateboard design that basically has a duffel bag on top. So I just kind of ran with that idea a little bit. I really like the idea. We went with a more conventional duffel bag design um, uh, for our actual project, but that gets down to the pictures. So being able to go through and just draw up some pictures like that in like 30 seconds or a minute, and having a whole bunch of people interact together to be able to well, the idea is that everyone does their own thing. Everyone needs to draw their own pictures in order to because there's the whole concept of when you're it's about failing safely. So you just it's a safe environment for you to fail. So I like to think of it as how when you're working, so when you're computer programming or something like that, you can fail as much as you want. The code is just not going to work. You can start and then you can just start over and it'll be fine. There's literally nothing wasted except for maybe a little bit of your time. But when you're working with wood or cutting or working with metal or really anything like that, where it's a durable material, the it's there's the whole concept of like measuring twice and cutting once. But with prototyping, especially during the very first part of prototyping, you want to use a medium where um, you can literally cut 10 times before you even attempt to measure it the first time, because you might not even know what you're measuring, and the thing you're measuring might be wrong. Um, and that's what the video about the shopping cart kind of takes into account. It's like if someone were to actually design it, they'd probably design it differently. Same thing with a car. If someone were to actually design a car nowadays, they probably wouldn't design it anything like how cars, like starting from scratch. They probably wouldn't design it the way it is now, having the engine in the front so that when you actually hit something that it comes back and hurts the occupants. It would make sense to just have that area empty, have luggage in there or something, and it's a large crumple zone. The What else? The fact that the lights in the front like replicates a human face or something like that. Either on one side, you could take away the concept of it like in looking like a human face at all, just because that's kind of an antiquated thing that comes from like it's like a testosterone or possibly baby face type of thing. Um, and For a vehicle, you could just take that away. Horse carriages never had that. But on the other side, you could also play that up, and you could have it look completely like a person's face. So then, even more so, you could just put a big cutout of Jay Leno or something. And Jay Leno could have a car where his face is just on like a Volkswagen bus, um, or whatever. It's just his, which is a big. It almost has like a chin, like he does, because it's big and um, rectangle shaped, very like a boat or something. I don't know, but anyways, the Bodie McBoat face. You can put Jay Leno's face on the front, like a big mask or something, and like something from a um, New Orleans parade or something, and drive it down the street, and everyone would see it, and it would be impossible to miss it. So it would be the safest thing on the road because everyone would notice it. But so it's like different concepts of if you and but we have that established. And so one thing I was thinking about too is if you had like 20 people in a room, we would want for a good design thinking class in order to design something and actually have like a good end result is that you wouldn't necessarily have everyone start off together like throwing out ideas. You actually the second then like one step would be to break everyone into two groups and then have them competing designs. For our class we have people, I'm not sure how many groups it is it four? A, B, C. I know we're C, I guess those are D, so it's three or four groups. And certain size, I know that in my management class they said that a team should only be big enough, should be small enough that you can feed them all dinner with two large pizzas. So that makes sense. I think there's six. Yeah, I think there's six people in our class. So that makes sense. That's about right. But so you break everyone up into, say it's 20 people in a class, break them up into groups of two or groups of four. And then what you could do is take groups of two and then do like a bracket, like a team's bracket where it just keeps splitting and splitting until you're at 10 groups of two at the bottom. And then you slowly combine them and have them spend a short amount of time where the two teams, um, the four students with their two teams, have their designs working on, um, um, iterate more on their designs based on what information they gather from each other after their initial bit of research and prototyping. And then finally at the end you could have two competing designs that has been that has evolved um, through a forced set of trial and error. That was just kind of an idea that came to my mind. Now that would take longer. So that would take longer. So very possibly what you would do is you take for 20 students, you take four teams of five. And so then you'd have two teams of five come together for a team, two teams of combined together to be a team of 10. So it'd be a team of 10. And then they would iterate some more on it and then compete at the end for which one's the best. Because uh, the speed and focus on the end result needs to be the goal, not the individual design premises at the outset. Because um, until you get to the prototype stage and start rolling with it, then you don't necessarily know exactly how far you're going to go. But I'm not sure how long these videos need to be, but I feel like I'm over time. But I just wanted to share some stuff about what I've been learning and what I've researched, and hopefully you're having a good spring semester also. See you later. Until next time.